It's been more than a month since the first session. So first of all, I'd like to thank Balgo and Prabhuji for giving me this opportunity to speak here today. And secondly, let us start with the prayers. Om Agnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I'll just share my screen. So this is the Janmashtami countdown, the Krishna pastimes from appearance to disappearance. This is the session 2. In session 1, we have covered almost exactly half of the Krishna book till the 45th chapter, till the killing of Kamsa. Now we shall talk about Krishna's Madhura pastimes and his Dwarka pastimes. So let us start with our first topic, which is Krishna recovers the son of his teacher. So here, Krishna and Balram, they actually became, they went under a guru named Sandipani Muni. So he is indicating to the whole world that however great you may be, you still need a guru to learn something. You still need a guru to be good at something. So here, as a Guru Dakshina, Sandipani Muni had asked for his son back, who had recently died near the shore. So here there's a tradition of giving a Guru Dakshina, which is basically the payment for the Guru's teachings. So the Guru here, Sandipani Muni, had asked for his son back. So Krishna and Balram, they went to the shore and they asked Varuna Dev, who is the god of the oceans. So he asked him, sometime back, you caused the death of my teacher's teacher. You caused the death of my teacher's son. So I ordered you to return him back now. So Varuna told it is actually not in his hands because there was a demon who actually killed Sandipani Muni's son. So after this, they went to Yamaraj, and Yamaraj finally brought back the Sandipani Muni's son back alive, and Krishna and Balram, they went back to Sandipani Muni with his son. So Sandipani Muni was in tears because no one else can bring back someone who is dead. So here Sandipani Muni was very grateful to Krishna and Balram. So after this incident, Uddhava was sent to Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, there was a lot of distress. Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, they were distressed of Krishna's leaving, and all the gopis, they were very distressed about Krishna who had left them in Vrindavan. So knowing this, Krishna and Balram, they couldn't go to Vrindavan because of their current affairs in Mathura. So Krishna actually sent Uddhava, who was actually a really close friend and relative and a very confidential associate of Krishna. So Uddhava's appearance was almost exactly like Krishna's appearance. So like just to copy paste, but a little different features. So by this, because of the appearance, we can understand that Uddhava was a really great devotee and he was very important to Krishna. So Uddhava set out to Vrindavan, and firstly he arrived at the night time. So he arrived at Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda's house. The whole night, Uddhava and Nanda Maharaj, they were talking about Krishna and all his pastimes. And in the morning, the gopis, they came to do their normal chores, and they came and saw that there was a chariot. There was a huge golden chariot outside Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda's house. So they were again recollecting Akrur. So Akrur, he was the person who took Lord Krishna to Mathura. So the gopis, they still didn't forget how Akrur cruelly took away the gopis, took away Krishna from the gopis. So the gopis were thinking that Akrura cannot do anything else to us. He has already shattered our hearts by taking away Krishna. So after Uddhava came out, the gopis, they realized that Uddhava's appearance was almost exactly like Krishna, and the gopis, they thought that Uddhava must be some great devotee. So after hours and hours, the Uddhava was pacifying the gopis that about Krishna and Balram, and telling them how he was the supreme lord. And Radharani here, she got carried away about Uddhava, and she thought that Uddhava was the messenger. It was a bee instead of Uddhava. So Radharani, she was mad for Krishna, and to the extent that she was talking to a bee, which she thought was the messenger of Lord Krishna. But in reality, Uddhava was the messenger. However, Radharani confused Uddhava to the bee, and Radharani had long conversation with the bee about how the bee had such close association with Lord Krishna. So after this incident, after the killing of Kamsa, Kamsa had two wives. So those two wives, both of them, they were widowed now. So it is a tradition that women should always be in the care of someone. So at first, it should be with the family, the father and mother. And second, it should be in the care of the husband. And after the husband's death, they should be in the care of their sons. So since those two wives, they had neither their husband nor their sons, so they went back to their father, and their father was actually Jarasandha, the mighty Jarasandha, who was actually the king of Bihar, which is called Magadha then. So Jarasandha was very pitied seeing the sight of his two daughters, and he was really, really, really sad. So Jarasandha here, he got very angry, and he decided to raid the entire Yadu dynasty. So he was trying to rid the entire Yadu dynasty from the world because of Krishna killing Kamsa. So Jarasandha started and made military arrangements for capturing Madura. So in the first time, he got humiliated really badly, and he lost all hope, and he decided not to be a king anymore. But then his friends and relatives, they came back to him and told, you can use this time to equip yourself better with military, and you can take over Madura and the Yadu dynasty eventually. So this happened 17 times. So Jarasandha got defeated 17 times to Lord Krishna and the Yadu dynasty. So that shows how powerful the Yadu dynasty actually is to defeat one of the most strong kings in the world at that time 17 times. So on the 18th time, Jarasandha was preparing to attack Jarasandha was preparing to attack again with an even bigger amount of army, a huge army. And at the same time, there was a king known as Kaliyavana. And he was really puffed up with pride. So he was actually looking for a worthy opponent who could match him, himself, who was actually very powerful. So he inquired from Narayana, he inquired from Narada Muni about who were some worthy opponents, who were the strongest men of in the world. So Narad Muni, he actually told that the Yadu dynasty were one of the most powerful men in the world. So Kalayavana was pleased about this because he had finally found a worthy opponent. So he collectively made a huge army of millions of soldiers, and he marched out to Mathura to capture Mathura and to kill the Yadus. So both Kalayavana and Jarasandha, they were attacking at the same time here. So Krishna and Balram, they consulted among themselves and they decided that if they understood that the Yadu dynasty was under great danger. So here, the Yadu dynasty, they had already withstood Jarasandha many times, but also Kalayavana, it was really hard. So what they decided to do, that Krishna had actually erected the Dwarka fort, which is underwater. So he moved all the residents of Mathura to the Dwarka fort safely so that they will not be injured or anything. And to deal with Kalyavana, he actually saw Kalyavana face to face and he ran away from the battle. He ran into a cave in the mountain, and there he had a shawl on his back. So men, they wear shawls, right? So that there was a red color shawl which he was wearing. So that shawl, he saw a sleeping man in that cave. He put the shawl on that sleeping man. So after Kalyavana entered the cave, he thought that Krishna was trying to fake sleep and that this was Krishna himself. But Kalyavana, he was really wrong. He had awoken the king Muchikanda, who was actually an exalted king from the Ishwaku dynasty. So as soon as King Muchikanda had woken up, he immediately burnt Kalyavana to ashes by his eyes. So there was a long history of King Muchikanda. So basically, in short, he actually helped the demigods help win a war, and by this, he actually got a benediction. So he asked that he was really tired at that time. So because he didn't sleep at all for many days and many years. So he asked for a benediction that he could sleep well, and whoever woke him up at the end of his sleep untimely would actually be burnt to ashes immediately with the sight of his eyes. So Kartikeya, the commander-in-chief of the demigods, had actually given this benediction, and it had proven true that Kalyavana had actually been killed. So here Krishna gets a new name, a new pastime name, and he gets the name of Ranchor, which actually means one who flees from the battle. So after this, there was a series of weddings which caused him to get 16,108 wives. So let us start with the first and foremost queen of Lord Krishna, Rukmini Devi. So Rukmini Devi was actually supposed to be married to Krishna, and they favored Krishna. King Bhishmaka also was favoring Krishna. However, the proud and cruel elder brother of Rukmini, he was named Rukmi. He thought that Rukmini should be married to Shishupal, who was a close friend of Rukmi. So Rukmini was very upset about this because she wanted to be with her lord at all times. And so Rukmini Devi, she sent a Brahmana who would relay the message to Lord Krishna, saying that there is not much time left. Please rescue me from all these kings and take me with you. So Krishna did exactly this. At the time of the marriage, Rukmini Devi, she was in the temple and she was praying to the goddess Durga, that she may get Krishna as her husband. So at this time, Rukmini Devi, she saw the Brahmana that she sent. She was already elated by this because by seeing the Brahmana, she already thought of Krishna, that he had arrived. So the Brahmana gave further information that Krishna had arrived and that he was going to take her away in the midst of all these powerful kings. So here, Lord Krishna zooms in with his chariot, and he takes hold of Rukmini Devi, and they run away from the ceremonial marriage. So then Jarasandha, he was very angry. Again, he was already defeated more than 18 times. So he was really angry. So all the kings and queens, they were still in the state of trance about Rukmini Devi's beauty. So after getting into their senses, they quickly got their swords and armor, and they chased after um, the chariot. So eventually, all the armies were getting overpowered, and Balram and the Yadu dynasty's soldiers, the Yadu army, they had also came, and they helped in assisting the killing of all these soldiers, all these princes who was very proud, and they were prideful, thinking that they could also get Rukmini Devi as their wife. So here they were all feeling oppressed. So the Yadu dynasty was still in the same number as they started, but the soldiers had drastically decreased. So they understood that fighting for Shishupal was useless, and they could only flatter Shishupal, saying that it's okay, Shishupal, you can just rule your kingdom peacefully with your wife. You don't need Rukmini Devi. So by these flattering words, Shishupal was convinced, but Rukmi, who was the elder brother of uh, Rukmini Devi, he was still angry at Krishna. So he marched at Krishna with his army, but with insultive words. Krishna was not turning back. The chariot was still going forward at fast speeds. But after hearing Rukmi's insults, Krishna turned back to accept the challenge. And within a few moments, Krishna had defeated Rukmi. And when Krishna was about to kill Rukmini was really displeased and really sad at this point, because Rukmi was, after all, Rukmini's elder brother, and all this marriage was on affection for Rukmini. So Rukmini begged to the Lord to let go of her brother, even though all these offenses should be leading to someone being killed if they offend the Lord like this. So like this, Lord Krishna actually he shaved the head of Rukmi. So this indicates that the king had been conquered already, and that he was living as a slave of the conqueror, who is Krishna. So after Balram and the Yadu dynasty came back, they were shocked to see the state of Lord Krishna and Rukmi. So they were Lord Balram especially was displeased and compassionate to Rukmi, because Rukmi was, after all, their brother-in-law now. So Balram ji, he offered words of pleasing words to Rukmini, so that Rukmini might be pacified after seeing the ugly appearance of her brother. So after this, there was a story called, which involved the Swayamtaka jewel. So already Krishna has one queen. So by this story, he will also gain two other queens. So here there was a king named Satrajit. So Satrajit was an ardent devotee of Surya Dev. So Surya Dev gave him a benediction that he would get a jewel which could produce a hump of gold every day. So basically, after getting this, he proudly put the jewel on, and he was strolling through the Yadu dynasty streets, through Dwarka. So all the Yadus, they thought that the Lord Surya had came himself to meet Lord Krishna. But so this was common to them, because demigods, they used to come to Lord Krishna to worship them or ask for help many times. So they all assumed that Surya Dev had come to see Lord Krishna. So when they went to Lord Krishna, they told that Surya Dev has come to see you, my lord, my lord. So Krishna, he could understand that this was not Surya Dev, it was Satyajit, who was proudly coming with the jewel. So here it is considered that Satyajit was showing off his jewel the effulgence and the brightness of the jewel and his wealth. And so he was always worshipping this jewel. He never worshipped the Supreme Lord Krishna. So the next day, his son went out to the forest to. So his son had actually went out to the forest to hunt some animals, and it so happened that he took the jewel, he wore the jewel, and he went out into the forest. So in the forest, actually, a lion had killed uh, Satyajit's son, and Jambawan, who was actually a bear, he had actually killed. Um, Jambawan had actually killed the lion, and he brought back the jewel back to his home, and he gave his son. Jambawan gave his son the jewel to play with. So the next day, Satyajit was worried that his son was not back, and neither he had brought the jewel back. So he accused Krishna of killing his son and taking the Shamantaka jewel. So after this incident, the rumor spread out to the whole Dwarka that Krishna was being accused. So Krishna didn't like this infamy. So he set out to the forest to find out what actually happened. So here, Krishna saw that the son of Satyajit was killed by the lion, and the lion was killed by Jambavan, who was the bear. So he entered Jambavan's cave. Krishna entered Jambavan's cave. So the caretaker of Jambavan's son shouted to Jambavan for protection, because if any unknown person would come to the house, of course, anyone would shout for help. So here, Jambavan and Krishna, they fought for many days. And on the last day, Krishna was actually not able to Jambavan was not able to overpower Krishna. And then finally, he got the realization that Lord Krishna was none other than Lord Rama, who is his Lord in the past life. So Jambavan here, he was very sorry to have offended Lord Krishna in this way, but Lord Krishna had taken pleasure in this by fighting Jambavan, and it has been Jambavan's long desire to fight the Lord himself. So here, Jambavan has a long story, and Jambavan was actually supposed to die long ago, so he has supposed to disappear long ago. So Jambavan's appearance was actually unusual, and he was the second living being in the universe. So at the time of creation, he had his own sweat due to the creation of the universe had caused a new organism. So the sweat from his hair, Lord Brahma's hair, had caused something to fall into his hand. So he looked into the hand and he saw a tiny bear. So that bear was growing at every instant. It was growing bigger and bigger until it became the size of his palm. So it was growing bigger. So Lord Brahma put the bear down. And after this, the bear asked Lord Brahma to please let me reside somewhere in this universe. So Lord Brahma told, right now there is no place that you can live, but you can stay on the island over there till the creation happens. So Jambavan, he had got his name by living on the Jambudweep island. So because he lived there, he got the name of Jambavan. So Jambavan, he went to every single pastime of the Lord, from the fish to the Varaha, the boar, Narasimhadev, Lord Rama, and he had also come to Lord Krishna now. So Jambavan, he was a very favorite among everyone. So Jambavan he was very energetic and strong. So he always used to go and make a lot of mess. So the demigods, they cursed Jambavan so that he would be old and he would not be able to sprint as he was jump around and sprint as he was before. So this was actually a curse, which was a type of benediction, because the demigods actually gave a benediction to Jambavan so that he may not make more trouble and he may not get more severe curses, which would cause a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. So Jambavan and Hanuman, they were actually close friends. So Hanuman was very attached to Jambavan. So one day, Jambavan had a weird dream. And in that dream, he was getting beaten up by 5 men and he could hear the cries of a woman, a small girl who's asking for help. So after waking up to this dream, he immediately told this to Hanuman. So then Hanuman, being intelligent, he could understand that this was actually the time of Jambavan's death. So Hanuman wanted Jambavan to stay with him. He didn't want Jambavan to go anywhere. So at all times from then, Hanuman was with Jambavan. So at this time, while going into the woods, Jambavan got the call of destiny. So destiny personified came to Jambavan and asked him to come with me and asked him to follow me. So Hanuman warned him that this was destiny and you should not go as this will cause your death. So at this time, actually what happened was Jambavan, he accepted and he followed destiny. And so there was a river shore. And so he was confused why the destiny, the person had brought him here. So then after this, he was thinking about Hanuman again. He was thinking of going back. But then he heard a girl's cry, please, please help me, please help me. So at this point, um, the girl was crying for help, and Jambavan could hear these cries. So Jambavan had came to protect the girl, but he was actually very strong, Jambavan. So those 5 dacoits who were trying to take the girl away to marry someone uncultured or uncivilized, so they were all beating Jambavan at the same time. They were beating them with sticks. So the dream which he had before was unfolding now. And at this time, um, Jambavan was at the time of his death. So death personified was coming. And the girl was very sorry that even Jambavan was getting beaten up on her behalf. So at this time, Hanuman came back, and Hanuman saw that Jambavan was taken away to Yamaraj. So Hanuman immediately called upon Yamaraj, and uh, he called upon Yamaraj and ordered Yamaraj to give back Jambavan to him. So Yamaraj told that this is not possible. Once a person is dead, they cannot be brought back. So Hanuman was very angry here. He still wanted Hanuman. He didn't care about the laws of the universe. So Yamaraj told Hanuman that if Brahma was okay with this, then he would also bring back Jambavan. So excuse me. So here Brahma came to Hanuman, and Hanuman asked that Jambavan be brought back. But Lord Brahma, he was not accepting this because the laws of the universe could not be changed for a monkey here, right? So by this, Hanuman was very angry. So he took up the dance of destruction, which was known as the Tandava dance. And the entire universe was falling apart and the universe was about to be destroyed. So at this time, Lord Vishnu came down and he told Brahma that the laws of nature can be adjusted when times are specific. And Brahma happily agreed to this because Lord Vishnu gave the hand of approval. So, um, so then Yamaraj finally he brought back Jambavan from the dead. So by this, Jambavan and Hanuman, they were always together, and Jambavan would never forget what Hanuman had done. So the girl, she was very sad and she was very regretful that she caused all of this to happen. And she was praying to Lord Vishnu that she may be forgiven for all this mishap. So then after this point, that girl, Lord Vishnu had uh, given a benediction to that girl that in the next life, she, in the next life, that girl would be the wife of Lord Vishnu, and the girl's father would be Jambavan. So the girl was very happy here because she was a devotee of Lord Vishnu, and she would happily become his wife. So any devotee would want to become his wife. And on second, she was very happy because um, Jambavan had protected her like a father. So she was very happy that Jambavan would become his father again. So here, Jambavan was very sorry and he gave back the jewel. And in honor, Jambavan also gave uh, his daughter, Jambavati, who was actually that girl before. So he gave Jambavati to Lord Krishna. So both of the benedictions were fulfilled. One, married to Lord Krishna, and two, being Jambavan's daughter. So by this, Satyajit had Satyajit had came back, seeing that Lord Krishna had came back. He saw the jewel back, and Lord Krishna explained the story of what actually happened to Satyajit. And Satyajit was very regretful here, thinking himself a really sinful man. So in in so that it can be so that he can justify his actions, he thought of giving his daughter, who is Satyabhama, and this Swamtaka jewel back. So Lord Krishna told he would happily accept Satyabhama as his wife, but the jewel was better to be worshipped in the temple instead of being with me. So the jewel was being worshipped in the temple in the center of Dwarka, and Satyabhama was the third principal queen of Krishna. So till now, three queens have been completed. So after this, actually, there was a conspiracy which happened in Dwarka. Krishna and Balram, they went on an entourage out to the to other countries of the world. So at this time, Kritavarma and so there was Satyavadana, who he was actually really jealous because he was actually supposed to be the wed of Satyabhama. So here, there was a conspiracy that was to take the jewel and kill Satyajit for this. So at this time, even Kritavarma, who is on the left here, and even Akrur, they also participated and they supported this conspiracy completely. Although they were extremely exalted people, they also supported this. And at this time, Satyajit was killed, and the Satyavadana took the jewel back. So at this time, Lord Krishna and Balram, they came back. And he was, Satyabhama, she came crying to Lord Krishna, saying what actually had happened about Satyajit and all the conspiracy that happened. So when Lord Krishna came back, all of the conspirators were really scared now. And even Akrura and Kritavarma, they were scared. They all fled to different countries, and Lord Krishna chased after Satyavadana. And eventually Satyavadana was killed by Lord Krishna. So when he came back, it was said that a lot of famine and a lot of no rains, there were no rains in Dwarka. So they were all thinking that Akrura was the reason. Akrur, in his childhood times, there was actually a time where he was brought into the kingdom, and the kingdom was all auspicious. So they thought it was because of Akrur. So Akrur was called from the country where he had fled to, and Akrur came back, and Lord Krishna told, please, let the truth come out, and let us stop this rumors going around. So Lord Krishna here, he knew that Akrura had the jewel. So this is why actually there were famines and there were no rainfalls in Dwarka. So the jewel was placed back in the temple where it was supposed to be, and there were no more famines, and there was always gold, and it was always rich in Dwarka. So there's a real question here. why did Kritavarma and Akrur participate in this conspiracy? It was actually due to there was a sinful reaction. So here, Kritavarma was a really close friend of Kamsa. So therefore, this sinful association caused him to get this karmic reaction. In Akrur here, he was cursed by the gopis at the time when he was taking Lord Krishna and Lord Balram to Mathura. So he was cursed by the gopis, and that's why this sinful reaction happened. So, so those were the three queens. Now we shall know the other five queens. So there are eight principal queens of Lord Krishna. And so we already covered three of them. Now we have the other five. The other five are Mitravinda, Satya, Nagnajiti, Bhadra, and Lakshmana. So all of these queens had their own story, which can go on for detail. And they had a lot of challenges like bullfights. So each one had a different amount of bounty, and each one had a different challenge. For example, like a bullfighter standing on a ferocious bull or shooting a target like that. So at this time, Narakasur, who was actually the son of goddess Ganga, she was actually Narakasur or Baumasur. He was actually really sinful here. So here he was very sinful. So Baumasur or Narakasur, he got the benediction that he could only be killed by his mother from Brahma. So his mother was Ganga Devi and his father was Lord Vishnu. So although being so exalted, being born from such prestigious parents, he was still very sinful. So he made his own empire there, and he imprisoned more than 16,100 women there. So the women were crying for help, and the message reached out to Lord Krishna. So Narakasur was very sinful here. He had once kidnapped Aditi and even took the earrings of Aditi. So he was very sinful. So on the adventures of Lord Krishna and Satyabhama, actually they came across Narakasur, who was actually the son of Ganga Devi. So immediately Krishna and Baumasur, they were challenging each other. However, Krishna didn't want to kill Narakasur because he wanted to keep Lord Brahma's benediction true. So at this time, Satyabhama was very angry about Narakasur. So with a simple slash, Narakasur was killed by Satyabhama, not Krishna. Because here, Satyabhama was actually the incarnation of Ganga Devi. So it was considered that Satyabhama was the mother of Narakasura, and hence Satyabhama was able to kill Narakasura while also being true to Lord Brahma's benediction. So after this, Krishna delivers all the captured women, and he also gives the captured woman the chance of being Lord Krishna's wives. So that causes 16,100 plus 8. So that gives the total number of queens of Lord Krishna, and that is 16,108. So that's where all the queens and the stories of the queens had started. So the principal queen was, of course, Rukmini, who was actually meant to be an incarnation of Srimati Radharani. So Srimati Rukmini Devi was always in close association with Lord Krishna. So here, Lord Krishna was always, he could not find any defect, any fault in Rukmini Devi. So once Krishna started saying that, I'm not a suitable husband for you, I'm just a coward and who fled from the battle. Why are you still with me? So as you can see here in this photo, you can see Rukmini Devi's displeased and unpleasant expression. So these were the talks that Lord Krishna actually used to enjoy. And excuse me. So Krishna actually wanted to see the reaction of Rukmini Devi. And thus he takes pleasure with his devotees. The Lord takes pleasure with his devotees in this form. So after this happened, the incident, which is actually very mystical and very significant in the Lord Krishna's life, and it is very significant for the whole world that Lord Krishna is the supreme. So we can understand a lot from this story. So Aniruddha, who is actually the grandson of Krishna and the son of Pradyumna. So there was Usha, who was actually Banasur. Banasur, he had his own empire, and he was a descendant of Bali Maharaj. So Banasur's daughter named Usha, she had awoke from a dream to, "My dear Lord, where are you?" So Chitralekha, who was the minister's daughter here, she had mystical powers. So she was asking Usha, "You have never had contact with any man. So how are you saying these words?" So Usha had just saw Aniruddha here, and Chitralekha was trying to satisfy Usha's desire. So Chitralekha started drawing out the most beautiful men in the entire universe. So first, Usha. So first, Chitralekha drew Pradyumna, who was Aniruddha's father. So after seeing Pradyumna, Usha got a little bit bashful. And after this, Chitralekha traveled around the universe again and found Aniruddha. So she drew Aniruddha and came back. So when Usha saw Aniruddha, it was clear that Usha, it was the match was found. So Chitralekha brought Aniruddha from the Yadu's bedroom to the residence of Banasur. So by this, all the guards and everything, after months and months, they were together and they were always in association, Usha and Aniruddha. So the guards, they were perceiving some kind of changes in Usha, like that she was in association with another man. So they informed this to Banasur, the king, and Banasur was very angry because Usha had never actually seen any man since her childhood. So Banasur was very angry here. And although Aniruddha was fighting back for Usha, here Aniruddha killed all the soldiers of Banasura. But Banasura had a Naga Pasha, which could immediately grab anyone with the ropes. So here Aniruddha was only a boy, so he did not have the strength to withstand Banasura. So after this, the 4 months of the rainy season had passed. And all the Yadus, they were starting to realize the disappearance, the vanishment of Aniruddha. So they were starting to get worried. So then Narad Muni, he came and disclosed actually what all happened. And he gave every minute detail of what happened. So the Yadus were very angry about this. And they immediately marched to Vanasura's empire and they started to look for Aniruddha. Even Pradyumna and all Krishna's sons, they all also came to assist Lord Krishna and Lord Balram. So here, Lord Krishna fights with Banasura. And Banasura was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva here was also, he gave a benediction that to Banasura that he would always fight anyone who would try to conquer Banasura. So here, actually, what actually happened was that Banasura actually had thousands of hands. He was very powerful, right? So Banasura was very puffed up by this. So Lord Shiva told that someday you will meet your match. So here, Lord Krishna fights with Lord Shiva, and Banasura fights with Satyaki, who was the commander-in-chief of the Yadu army, and Lord Balram fought with the commander-in-chief. So this was the most horrific and most epic battle in the entire universe that the universe has seen. It is by the two most powerful personalities in the entire universe. Lord Shiva, as you can see here on the left, and Lord Krishna, who is the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, you can see on the right. So these two, it was the greatest battle of the entire universe, greatest battle of the century, I guess you can call. So here, each of them released many weapons. So Shiva would release the fire weapon, uh, Krishna would release the water weapon to counter it, wind weapon, arrow weapon. There were so many weapons that were being released that even the demigods, they came down to witness this battle. And even the soldiers in each Yadu, the Yadus and Banasara, they stopped to witness the fight of Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna. So finally, it came down to the Brahmastra. So Lord Shiva, he released the Brahmastra, but immediately Lord Krishna, he released another type of Brahmastra, and it was countered. So by this, Lord Shiva was very angry that all of his weapons were being neutralized. So he sent his personal weapon, the Pashupatastra. So the Pashupatastra was for the time of destruction, and it could kill anyone and everyone. So here, Lord Krishna also contracted with the Narayanastra, which is more powerful. So Lord Krishna was getting exhausted of all of his mystical arrows. So here, he sent out the most deadly of the it was for the time of destruction of the entire universe. It was known as the Shiva Jwara. It is basically excessive heat. So it is like excessive heat, and the entire universe would actually burn with the heat. So Lord Shiva sent out this weapon to Lord Krishna. But Lord Krishna, with a simple hand movement, he called the Narayana Jwara. So the Shiva Jwara and the Narayana Jwara. So the Narayana Jwara was excessive cold, and the excessive heat is the Shiva Jwara. However, out of these, the most powerful is the Narayana Jwara, because we can bear excessive heat. Even in the summers, we are bearing a lot of excessive heat, 40 degrees, 40 degrees or 35 degrees, 30 degrees. So we are able to bear all these. But no one can bear excessive cold. And even at the time of death, our body reaches the temperature of 107, 108 before the time of death. So here, the Shiva Jwara and the Narayana Jwara, as you can see in the photo here, they were in constant fight with each other. So here, afterwards, the cold, when it acts on heat, the heat dies down when the cold acts on it. So slowly, the Shiva Jwara was losing all its power. So the Shiva Jwara, realizing that it could not beat the Narayana Jwara, it pleaded to Lord Shiva for help here, and so that it could be saved. As you can see here, Shiva Jwara is the red one and Narayana Jwara is the right one. So Shiva Jwara was pleading for help to Lord Shiva, and seeing that even his master could not help him, so the Shiva Jwara went to Lord Krishna and begged for help and begged for forgiveness. So Lord Krishna ultimately let the Shiva Jwara go and stopped the Narayana Jwara. So at this time, Lord Banasura, he actually also wanted to attack Lord Krishna. So he was tired of fighting Satyaki, so he decided to directly go for Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna here, he immediately caught everything. He killed. He was about to kill Banasura, but there was actually a goddess, a demigoddess. So she was actually like considered to be a mother of Banasura. So that was their relation. So Banasura was a really ardent devotee of that demigoddess. So the demigoddess, she could not see Banasura being killed in this way. So she came in front of Lord Krishna in an unpleasant way. So Lord Krishna does not like to see these kind of sights, so he turned away. So this gave Banasura enough time to go back into the castle and recover. So as soon as Banasura came back, he saw that Lord Shiva was just relaxing there with Lord Krishna. So he immediately came to fight Lord Lord Krishna, and Banasura was on the verge of death. So Lord Krishna was about to kill Banasura until Lord Shiva had started praying to Lord Krishna to let go of Banasura. He told that Banasura was a descendant of Bali Maharaj, who Lord Krishna told that none of the descendants of this demon dynasty would be killed by him. And he even told that he was an exalted he was an exalted descendant of Prahlad Maharaj. And he also told that he was a great devotee of Lord Shiva himself. So here, being pacified, Lord Krishna had letting Banasur go, and he even praised Banasura with his blessings. So Banasur here, he was very grateful to Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva for sparing his life. So that is the story of Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva's fight, the most epic fight of the universe. So after this came Lord Balram. He actually was visiting the Vrindavan. He was visiting Vrindavan, the gopis. So when he was enjoying himself in the lake with the gopis, actually there was a gorilla named Dvivida. So Dvivida had actually, if you know, he was actually part from the Ramayana. So in the Ramayana, uh, two of the principal monkeys or gorillas were Dvivida and Mainda. So Dvivida, after Lord Rama's disappearance, he was completely into illusion and in materialism. So he always used to take pleasure in killing people and disturbing people. So uh, after seeing Balram with all the gopis enjoying themselves in the lake, Dvivida was like, let me kill this boy and let me enjoy with these women. So Balram was very angry here, and with this, Dvivida was finally delivered from the material world, and all of his past reactions and everything were cleansed because of Balram's touch. So he ultimately got delivered. So after this came the marriage of Samba. Samba was actually the son of Lord Krishna, one of the principal sons of Lord Krishna. So here, there was actually a qualified girl in the Kuru dynasty who was named Lakshmana. So Lakshmana was actually the daughter of Duryodhana. So Samba was in love with uh, Lakshmana. So immediately, Samba came to the function of the engagement function, and he kidnapped Lakshmana. So the entire Kuru dynasty with all the Kauravas and the Pandavas, the Dhritarashtra, all of them, Bhishma, Drona, they all came and they ran after Samba. So here Samba was trying to fight them back because Samba himself was uh, almost exactly at the strength of Lord Krishna, but he could not fight all of them at once. Basically, so the Kuru dynasty, they tied up Samba and they kept them in captivation. So here, after this, the Kuru dynasty, they were pondering on whether the other dynasty would accept the challenge and fight the Kuru dynasty. So the Kurus, they were proud of themselves because the Kurus were the emperors, and whereas the Yadus, they were only kings. So here, after this incident, the Yadus got knowledge of this and they were ready to fight the Kuru dynasty. However, Lord Balram, he was in knowledge of what could happen at this the war, and he decided that it is better to go and try and stop this this war in peaceful means. So the Kali Yuga was on its verge, and Kali was at its max. So even a small provocation would cause someone to deal war with someone else. So Lord Balram acted as a peaceful mediator here, and he tried to make this marriage possible in friendly manner, instead of wars. So by this, finally, after a lot of discussion, the Kuru dynasty were agreed with Lord Balram that it's better to not have wars, and they even let Samba and Lakshmana have a peaceful marriage. So after this incident actually comes the killing of Jarasana. So the Jarasandha was actually he had a very mystical history. So when he was born, he was actually born from a nectar. So the king had two wives. So then there was one pot of nectar which would give. He could not get any sons, so he prayed for a son, and he got um, the um, celestial butter, or the celestial portion, which so he divided this portion in half, and he gave one for each wife. So at the time of birth, each of the wife gave one half of the baby, because actually it was supposed to be only one, but by the foolishness of the king, he separated the both parts. So by seeing this, the queens, they were horrified by this. They're like, they got half babies. So they immediately threw this baby away in the forest and came. So at this time, there was a demon named Jara. So Jara was actually a demon who possessed demonic powers. So Jara had actually put this the two halves back, and the the baby came back to life, and it got a new name, Jarasandha, because it was joined by by Jara. So here, actually, it was supposed to Lord Yudhishthir Maharaj, he wanted to carry out the Rajasuya sacrifice. So here, during the Rajasuya sacrifice, the whole world should be under the subjugation of that one emperor. So either they should accept the rule of the emperor, or they should give a challenge. And the Yudhishthir had to win. So Jarasandha was against the Pandavas then. So Arjuna, Bhima, and Krishna, they set out to go and kill Jarasandha. So Jarasandha took direct combat with Bhima. So at this time, the fight went on for days and days. There was no fault in either of them. All of their defenses were good, and all of their attacks were good. So there was nothing which could be done there. So Krishna, he actually knew about Jarasandha's history, and he showed that he took a stick, as you can see here in the corner. You can see this twig. So he took the twig and he sliced it in half. He peeled it like this. So by this, Bhima could understand that Krishna was indicating Jarasandha to do this. So immediately at this time, Bhima, he immediately tore Jarasandha into two. And that is how the Jarasandha was liberated. So by killing Jarasandha and all subjugating the entire world, so Yudhishthir Maharaj was able to perform the Rajasuya sacrifice. So Shishupal was in great terms with the Pandavas, but he was always in hatred with Lord Krishna since his childhood, and even because of Lord Krishna stealing Rukmini from him. So when Yudhishthir Maharaj was to choose the most exalted person to worship in the hall, so Yudhishthir Maharaj chose Lord Krishna. So Shishupal was very angry here, because there were Lord Vishnu, there were many others here, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, Vayudev, Suryadev, there were Narada Muni, there were many other personalities here. And there were just Rashtra, there were so many. So he was trying to justify that Krishna was not worthy of sacrifice, worthy of the worship. So he was very angry here. So at the time of Shishupal's birth, it was said that he had three eyes. So when he would sit on the laps of when he was when he was born, so he had three eyes, except this, he had an eye here. So it was told that once the eye goes away, when he sits on someone, and if the third eye goes away, that will be the person who will who will kill Shishupal. So as Shishupal in his childhood, when he was sitting on the lap of Lord Krishna, the third eye went away. So Shishupal's mother, she understood that Shishupal was going to be killed by Shishupal was going to be killed by Lord Krishna. So Shishupal's mother, she begged that Lord Krishna forgive Shishupal and at least let him live for 100 offenses. So his offenses got exhausted here. So Krishna was actually merciful to let him live for so long. So finally, Lord Krishna had actually killed Shishupal with his discus weapon, the Sudarshan Chakra, and here Shishupal was delivered, or Jaya was delivered. So after this happened the battle between Shalva and the Yadu dynasty. So Shalva was a great mystic, and he had owned a really big, um, as you can see here, a really big palace, this flying fortress. So basically, he could go anywhere and anywhere in the universe. So he finally came upon the Yadu dynasty, and he was very angry at the Yadu dynasty for the killing of Shishupal. Shalva was a very good friend of Shishupal, and this battle between the Shalva and the Yadu dynasty had actually taken place for many months. So finally, at the end of this battle, Shalva was killed. And actually, at the time of this battle, the dice game of the Pandavas and the Kauravas was actually going on. So this is actually the reason that Krishna was actually not able to help out the Pandavas or mediate the dice game so that it can go into friendly manners. So after the killing of Shalva, actually here uh, Dantavakra was another friend of Shalva and Shishupal. He was actually also attacking after Shalva's death. So Dantavakra was not even a comparison to Lord Krishna, and he was immediately killed. And Dantavakra was delivered here, and Vijayawada was delivered. So here, as we saw, here Shishupal was delivered, and here Jaya was delivered. And here Dantavakra was delivered, and Vijay was delivered. So Vijaya and Jaya, they were actually the two gatekeepers of the Vaikunta. So they would only allow authorized people in Vaikunta. So at that time, the Sanat Kumaras, who was actually in the form of little children, they had actually arrived from to visit Lord Vishnu. So Jaya and Vijaya, they refused the entry of the Sanat Kumaras. So the Sanat Kumars were very angry here. You do not deserve the um, position of the gatekeeper of Vaikunta. You should go back. I curse you. We curse you for to go back to earth and take birth there. So here, actually, this was Lord Vishnu was sorry for Jaya and Vijaya, but they had offended some great exalted devotees. So he could not turn this curse back. So Lord Vishnu gave the option to Jaya and Vijaya. They told you can either have three births as demons in my association, in hatred of me, or you can have seven births as my devotees in a close association with me. So taking three births as a demon is quicker than taking seven births as a devotee. So Jaya and Vijaya, they chose being a demon so that they can quickly come back to Vaikuntha Lok. So these three births of Jaya were actually, the births of Jaya were Hiranyakashipu and Ravana. So that was Jaya. Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, and Shishupal. Now Vijaya, it was Hiranyaksha and Kumbhakarna and now Dantavakra. So that was the history behind these Jaya and Vijaya. So after this, at this time, Romaharshana was also killed. So after this, seeing that the the war and everything was happening, Lord Balaram, he actually went into pilgrimage and he came in the association of some holy Brahmins. So the as soon as Balaramji came, all the Brahmanas, they stood up, except this Romaharsana Sutta, who was actually sitting on the Vyasasana. So he was the only one who didn't get up in Balramji's presence. So Balramji decided to teach him a lesson so that the other people won't follow him like blind people. So with a simple blade of grass, as you can see here in the photo, he killed Romaharsana Sutta. So, and the Brahmanas, they were all very distressed because they had just given Romaharsana Sutta, they had voluntarily given him the Vyasasana, and they had even given him longevity. So Balramji, he pacified the Brahmanas and he told that the benediction of longevity would be would be passed on to Romaharsana Sutta's son. So after this incident, we come to the story of Ilvala and Vatapi. So as you can see here, Balvala was actually killed, who was another great demon. So here we have an interesting story which I would like to share, and it is Balvala here. So the father of Balvala here was Ilvala. So the story of Ilvala and Vatapi. So once upon a time, there was Agastya Muni. So Agastya Muni, he had came upon a tree, and near the tree he saw corpses, and the corpses were saying, "You are so sinful. You are causing us suffering." So Agastya Muni, he was always very kind, and he was very compassionate to all living entities. So he was surprised that um, he was even he had caused some sinful activities and made other people suffer. So these corpses, they informed that they were the ancestors of Agastya Muni. So these ancestors told that you are causing us great suffering because you are not carrying on our legacy. So you should either become a devotee of Lord Krishna, or you should have a wife and have children with her. So here, obviously, becoming Lord devotee of Lord Krishna was really, really hard. So, but getting a wife was pretty easy. So he looked around the entire world um, to find a suitable wife. So finally, he found so finally he found a suitable wife, and with so the Agastya Muni's wife, after they wedded, so Agastya Muni was a sage. He was considered poor sage. So um so the wife of Agastya Muni had asked the complete richness and treatment as a queen before giving birth to a child. So by this, Agastya Muni set out and he wanted great amounts of wealth. So Agastya Muni was looking for a lot of wealth here. So he went to a nearby king and he asked the king for any wealth. So the wealth, he showed the accounts of the kingdom, and he showed that all that came into the treasury was being used in welfare of the citizens. So there was not a single rupee or a single penny to be spared. So Agastya Muni was very impressed by this, how truthful the king was. So they went to another king. Even that king had the same state. They went to another king. Even that king had the same state. But that king, the other king, the last king, the third king, he actually knew, he actually understood a way to get a lot of money for Augusta, but it would be very risky. So Ilvala and Vatapi, they were actually two demons who actually were very sinful, and they used to consume the wealth of kings, and they would trick them with their trickery. So Agastya Muni told that there was nothing impossible for uh, uh, for Agastya Muni. So they immediately went to Ilvala and Vatapi, and Ilvala and Vatapi, they talked to themselves that three kings and one sage to again trick them. So here, Agastya Muni and the three kings, they sat at the table. So first, actually, what happened? Put poison into the. They actually put poison into the food, which could kill anyone instantly. So after this incident, actually, what happened was, um, after this incident, uh, Agastya Muni told, "Don't even touch the plates. Don't even think about eating the food." So Vatapi was quite confused here. So Vatapi and Ilva, they were confused. So Ilva here, Ilva, the father of Balvala, he was confused. Why did you stop eating? So the kings told that we are on a fast, and only after our guru, who is the money here, the sage here, eats, then only will we eat. So Agastya Muni, he immediately ate the complete, all four of the plates in a fraction of a second. So here, actually, so the kings told that the Agastya Muni had a very small diet, small appetite, but when he had an appetite, he had a voracious appetite. So actually, what happened? He had a whole bowl of soup, and in that soup, actually, there was watapi in the tricked form. So Agastya Muni drank the entire soup. He consumed all the poison, and he even consumed watapi. So, Ilvala was laughing like a madman here because he had just killed this sage and sent watapi in him, who was going to kill Agastya Muni in short time. So, at this time, uh, Ilvala was getting a little bit worried because it's been a long time, but Vatapi still didn't come out, and the Muni didn't show any signs of changes. So then the Agastya Muni, he told that Vatapi has been digested. So here, Ilvala couldn't believe Agastya Muni's words, and Agastya Muni kept saying Vatapi has been digested, but Ilvala was not able to believe this. He cried out, Vatapi, come out, enough trickery. But so seeing that Vatapi was not coming out, Ilvala was very angry at this Muni, and he decided to take up his weapons against him. So Agastya Muni simply he sat there and told Om. He told the syllable Om. And by that, Ilvala was also killed. So after this, we can talk about the actual pastime of Lord Balram. It was the demon Balvala was killed. Balvala was also a big trickster, and he was also killed by Balram later in the Vrindavan episode. So after this, Devaki, the mother of Lord Krishna and Balram, Lord Krishna, he, she had actually asked the return of the six dead sons of Devaki. So actually, previously, Lord Brahma had a daughter that was so beautiful that even Lord Brahma was attracted to her, his own daughter. So by this, there were six demigods who would actually insult Brahma of doing this, and by this, Lord Brahma, by this reaction, they got a sinful reaction that they should take birth as sons of Hiranyakashipu. And the sons of Hiranyakashipu were transferred to Devaki, and they were immediately killed by Kamsa at the time of birth. So these six dead sons were actually with Bali Maharaj, who was in the Sutala and Patala regions. So Lord Krishna and Lord Balram, they used their mystic power, the Yogamaya potency, and they went to Bali Maharaj and requested the six sons of Devaki back, because Mother Devaki was requesting the sons back. Yeah. So after this, Devaki enjoyed the association with the six sons, and Lord Krishna and Lord Balram were enjoying looking at her mother and associating and pleased with the six dead sons back. So after this, we come to one of the final episode of this, which is the deliverance of Lord Shiva. Here, Lord Shiva actually he had given us a benediction to someone that anyone. So the demon he actually gave the demon a benediction here, and that benediction was actually it would cause the destruction of the entire universe almost if actually Lord Krishna would not have intervened into this situation. So actually what happened was Lord Shiva, he had actually given he had actually given uh, a benediction to a demon, and the demon was named. He was actually named Vikasura. So the demon Vikasura, he was actually asked for a benediction that by the hand touched, if he puts his hand on anyone, then that person should be immediately killed. So after Lord Shiva gave this benediction to him, Vikasura immediately um, started running after Shiva so that he could kill Lord Shiva himself. So Vrikasura was very shameless here, and Lord Shiva was running throughout the universe for help here. But then, actually, here Lord Krishna had intervened here, and by this, actually, with the help of Lord Krishna, actually, by this was that Lord Shiva was actually saved. So Lord Krishna was actually trying to confuse Vrikasura into putting his hand on his own head. He told many funny riddles, and he made him confused to the point where Vrikasura was not in his senses anymore. So what Vrikasura did, Krishna simply told you can to put his hand on his head. And by this, as soon as Vrikasura put the hand, Vrikasura died immediately, and he vanished in an instant, and he had gone to the areas of hell. So Lord Shiva here, he was again delivered by Lord Krishna. So now we come to the end of the Yadu dynasty, how the entire Yadu dynasty was wiped. So there was a series of curses which caused the Yadu dynasty's extinguishment of the Yadu dynasty. There was actually 3 or 4 curses here. The first curse, it was caused after the end of the Yadu, after the end of the Kurukshetra war. So Gandhari cursed Lord Krishna here that in 36 or 34 years that the Yadu dynasty would also perish along with Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna actually wanted to wind up his pastimes in the material world because the Kali Yuga was on its verge of starting. So he also wanted to liberate all the members of the Yadu dynasty. However, till now, no one could challenge or even think about looking at the Yadu dynasty. So it was only possible to kill them amongst themselves. So finally, after this, what actually happened was this actually so the next curse was by a couple of sages, including Narada Muni, Devala, and many other exalted sages. So these boys, they actually went to them, and as you can see here, Samba was dressed with as a woman with a ball. So they tried to trick the sages into thinking that Samba was a girl and she was pregnant. So they asked whether the baby would be a boy or a girl. So the Narad Muni immediately cursed them that this lady will give birth to an iron club, which will cause the destruction of the entire Yadu dynasty. So these playful boys, as they saw the iron club, they immediately presented this to Ugrasena. So Ugrasena, he immediately asked that the club be grinded into pieces and it be sent back sent and disposed into the ocean. However, this was actually eaten by a fish, and this fish and a fisherman got this fish, and this was sold to the other dynasty, and the club came back to them. So after the time period of the 36 or 34 years, then the Yadu dynasties, they went to the river and they actually fought amongst themselves. And this caused the end of the Yadu dynasty. So they were killing themselves, driven by liquor and everything. So finally, only Lord Krishna and Lord Balram were left. Lord Krishna had actually fell down near a tree, and Lord Balram had already disappeared in some other form. And there was a hunter who actually mistook that there was a deer in next to the tree. So outside the tree, there could only be seen there was only seen the feet of Lord Krishna. So the hunter mistook this for an animal, and he immediately shot an arrow at the feet of Lord Krishna. and this caused the disappearance of Lord Krishna too. So that was the end of the Yadu dynasty, and there are many speculations that there are still there is still there's still the Yadu dynasty which is still alive today, but those are not the real Yadus, and they are not the proper Yadavas. So I would like to end my session here, and I would like to thank you all for listening to me kindly. And if I have spoken anything wrong, please kindly excuse me. And yes, thank you for this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You have covered all the lots. Okay, your images and the slides are very extremely good, Prabhu. So I don't know where you got that many images. I think you have spent a lot of time to get the right images.
No,
I think
Prabhu,
you have put a lot of effort, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. It's all Krishna's mercy and Bhagavan Prabhuji's mercy, Prabhu.
One question, Prabhu. You said Akrura involved in conspiracy. Is that correct, Prabhu?
Yeah. Actually, yes, Prabhu. I'll move to that slide 1 minute.
That was very surprising, Prabhu. First time I'm hearing. The reason for that is Akrura is a very, very, very close devotee. One of
he's actually a very close devotee. So actually, when Akrura was taking away Lord Brahma and Lord Balram and Lord Krishna to Mathura, so by the gopis actually cursed Akrura, and the sinful reaction was the cause of this conspiracy. So he also took part in this conspiracy. That's the reason.
So this is there in Bhagavad. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. One more thing, Prabhu. Like the Satrajit, his brother or his son went to forest, Prabhu?
His son, Prabhu.
I heard it as his brother, but you mentioned as son. Okay. Son is coming up.
Yeah,
okay.
son.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Yeah, a wonderful session, Prabhu. Okay. Maybe you may share the slides, Prabhu, in this WhatsApp group.
Yes, Prabhu. I'll share it. I'll share both of the session slides.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Wonderful, Prabhu. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
హరే కృష్ణ అనంత చాలా చిన్న వయసులో ఇంత మంచి సెషన్, ఇంత పెద్దగా ప్రాక్టీస్, 10th స్టాండర్డ్ ఎగ్జామ్స్, చాలా గ్రేట్ అనంత. ఒక ఐడియల్ ఇన్స్పిరేషన్. ఏమి పని లేకుండా కూర్చొనే మాకు సరిపోవట్లేదు టైం ప్రిపేర్ చేయడానికి. రియల్లీ యు ఆర్ ఎ వెరీ గ్రేట్, ఇన్స్పైర్డ్. చాలా చిన్న వయసులో. గాడ్ బ్లెస్ యూ.
మాతాజీ మీ బ్లెస్సింగ్స్ అండ్ ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ వల్లనే నేను చెప్తున్నాను మాతాజీ. అందుకని
మీకు ఆల్రెడీ మదన్ గోపాల్, బాలగోవింద్ ప్రభుజీ, గురూజీ, ప్రభుజీ, మాతా పిత అందరి బ్లెస్సింగ్స్ ఎక్కువగా ఉంది. ఈ జన్మ తీసుకున్నందుకు యు ఆర్ ఎ వెరీ ఫార్చునేట్. హరే కృష్ణ.
థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ. హరే కృష్ణ.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ, అనంత్ ప్రభుజీ. అనంత్ చాలా బాగా
మాతాజీ.
అసలు ఎలా చెప్పారంటే చెప్పడం కూడా స్లోగా, నెమ్మదిగా, అంటే ఒక ప్రొఫెసర్, ఒక టీచర్ ఎలాగా చెప్తారు చిన్న పిల్లలకి, అలాగా నీట్ గా చాలా ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ చాలా బాగా ఉంది. అంటే చిన్న పిల్లల నుంచి పెద్దవాళ్ళ వరకు కూడా పేషెన్స్ గా వినొచ్చు. అసలు మీరు ఇంత బాగా ప్రిపేర్ చేసి అంత బాగా గుర్తు పెట్టుకొని ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ టాపిక్ చాలా క్లియర్ గా చెప్పడం అనేది యు ఆర్ సో బ్లెస్డ్ అమ్మా. అంత చాలా అదృష్టవంతుడివి. ఇంకా కృష్ణుడి గురించి చెప్పడం అంటే ప్రభుజీ ఎప్పుడు క్లాస్ లో అంటారు, మాట్లాడమంటే కృష్ణుడి గురించి మాట్లాడండి అని. నువ్వు ఈ ఏజ్ లో ఇంత చక్కగా బాగా చెప్పగలుగుతున్నావు అంటే సో గ్రేట్ అమ్మా. ఇట్స్ సో నైస్. చాలా బాగా చెప్పావు. ఎప్పుడు కృష్ణ రాధారాణి బ్లెస్సింగ్స్ ఉండాలి. ఇంకా ఇలాగా ఎన్నో క్లాసెస్ తీసుకుంటూ ఇంకా చాలా కృష్ణ భక్తిలో ముందుకు వెళ్ళాలని కృష్ణాని నేను ప్రే చేస్తున్నాను. థ్యాంక్ యూ మా. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.
థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ యువర్ బ్లెస్సింగ్స్. హరే కృష్ణ.
హరే కృష్ణ.
Hare Krishna, Ananth Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Wonderful class, Ananth, and took a lot of time and effort. ఈ ఎగ్జామ్స్ టైంలో వగర ఇవన్నీ చూసుకుంటూ కూడా సో ఇంత బాగా ప్రిపేర్ చేసి చాలా బాగా ప్రెజెంట్ చేసావు అనంత్. సో మే Lord Krishna and Radharani, Srimati Radharani bless you always. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Ananth.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your blessings.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Ananth.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
హరే కృష్ణ నాన్న. నీ క్లాస్ ఇంటే ముందే లేచి కూర్చుంటాను. ఇట్ వాజ్ ఫెంటాస్టిక్ నాన్న. చాలా ప్రశాంతంగా చక్కగా ఎంత పీస్ఫుల్ గా చెప్పావు. ఇంగ్లీష్ రాని వాళ్ళందరికి కూడా అర్థమయ్యేటట్టు చెప్పేసావు చక్కగా. చాలా బాగా చెప్పావు. అంటే ఫాస్ట్ గా వెళ్ళిపోతే ఎవరికి అర్థం అవ్వదు కాదు. చాలా బాగా చెప్పావు నాన్న. ఎవ్రీ టైం అది చెప్తాను. ఐ బ్లెస్ యూ నాన్న.
థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ.
హరే కృష్ణ.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
హరే కృష్ణ.
క్లాస్ చాలా బాగుంది అన్న, చాలా బాగుంది. కీప్ ఇట్ అప్ మా.
థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
హరే కృష్ణ అనంత ప్రభుజీ.
హరే కృష్ణ మాతాజీ.
చాలా చాలా బాగా చెప్పారు ప్రభుజీ. అసలు ఇంత చిన్న వయసులో ఇంత ఎత్తుకు ఎదిగిపోయారు మీరు. మీ ముందు మేము చాలా చిన్నలా కనిపిస్తున్నాం ప్రభుజీ. చాలా వండర్ఫుల్ క్లాస్ ప్రభుజీ. అసలు అంతా మీ అమ్మగారు, నాన్నగారు, తర్వాత మన గురువు గారు వీళ్ళందరితో చాలా పైకి వచ్చేసారు ప్రభుజీ. అసలు ఇంత చిన్న వయసులో ఎలా రాగలిగారు అనేది అసలు చాలా ఇదిగా ఉంది ప్రభుజీ. వండర్ఫుల్ క్లాస్ ప్రభుజీ. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. గాడ్ బ్లెస్ యూ అనంత.
మాతాజీ, యు ఆర్ మై సీనియర్ మాతాజీ.
అయ్యో కృష్ణ కాన్షియస్ చాలా లోపలికున్నాం బాబు. మీరే సీనియర్స్ మాకంటే. చాలా బాగా చెప్పావు. వండర్ఫుల్ క్లాస్ అనంత. థ్యాంక్ యూ. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ.
హరి బోల్ ప్రభుజీ. హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ. దండవత్ ప్రణామం. గ్రేట్ ప్రీచింగ్ ప్రభుజీ. నిజంగా నేను కూడా భలే ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ గా ఎదురు చూస్తా ఉంటాం మీ దానికోసం. అసలు ఎంత బాగుందో. ఈరోజు నేను అసలు ముందు నుంచే పెట్టుకొని ఉన్నాను అనమాట. చాలా బాగా చెప్పారు ప్రభుజీ. మీ పేరును సార్థకత చేశారు. ఇంకా అనంతమైన ఎత్తులకి ఎదగాలి మీరు ఈ కృష్ణ భక్తిలో. మీరు భక్తిలో చిన్న పెద్ద తారతమ్యం లేదయ్యా. భక్తిలో చాలా ముందుకు వెళ్ళారు మీరు. సాష్టాంగ దండ ప్రమాణాలు ప్రభుజీ. నిజంగా చాలా బాగా చెప్పారు.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ. అనంత సాయి
ప్రభు.
Really, it is a pleasure to hear your speech and nice presentation. Wonderful, splendid. Keep it up.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Krishna's mercy is always to you. Really,
yes, Krishna. Your mercy and Balgam Prabhu's mercy, your blessings, its result is this.
Whenever you are given speech, whenever you are prepared, really it's a great and enthusiastic, no words to say. Really, your presentation and your absorption, your connection, everything is very good. Keep it up. Thank you once again.
Hare Krishna ప్రభుజీ.
హరే కృష్ణ మాతాజీ.
కృష్ణ అనంత ప్రభు. ఇంకా అందరు మాతాజీ ప్రభు చెప్పినట్టుగా నిజంగా అసలు వండర్ చైల్డ్ అంటారు కదా మన ఇస్కాన్ లో. వండర్ చేసిన నువ్వు హై లెవెల్కి వచ్చినట్టుగా అనిపిస్తుంది నాకు. నీ పేరు ఎందుకు పెట్టారో మా అమ్మ నాన్న అనంత అని చెప్పేసి అనంతమైనటువంటి ఆ జ్ఞానం భగవంతుడు నీకు ఇచ్చేసాడు నాన్న. నిజంగా నువ్వు ఒక గిఫ్ట్, భగవంతుడు ఇచ్చే గిఫ్ట్ అనమాట మా కోసం. మన అసోసియేషన్ లో మన బాలగోవింద ప్రభువు చెప్పినటువంటి ఆ జ్ఞానాన్ని అంతా కూడా నువ్వు ఒడిసి పట్టుకొని అమ్మ నాన్నల ప్రోత్సాహంతో అసలు ఎంతమంది నీ ఏజ్ పిల్లలు ఎవరు ఇట్లా చెప్పగలుగుతున్నారు చెప్పండి. మన ఇస్కాన్ లో కూడా చాలా మంది పిల్లలు ఉన్నారు. అయినా కూడా నిజంగా అది అసలు స్పెషల్ చైల్డ్ అనమాట. నువ్వు అసలు ఇంకా అందరికంటే ఇట్లా వేరుగా అలా ఎదుగుతున్నావు. అలానే ఎదగాలని కూడా మేము కోరుకుంటున్నాము. ఇలాగే మాకు ఎప్పుడు మంచి భాగవతంలో అన్ని మాకు తెలియని కానీ తెలిసిన కానీ అన్ని కూడా నువ్వు మంచి ఇంకా ఇలాగే చెప్పుకుంటూ ఇంకా ముందుకెళ్ళి పెద్ద ప్రీచర్ అయిపోవాలి. రాధేశ్యామ్ ప్రభులాగా, గౌరంగ దర్శన్ ప్రభులాగా ఆ స్థాయిలో నేను చూడాలనుకుంటున్నా. హరే కృష్ణ. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. మమ్మల్ని మేము ఈ స్పిరిచువల్ కృష్ణ కథలు వినడానికి ఇంత హ్యాపీనెస్ ఇస్తున్నందుకు నిజంగా నీకు ఏం ఇచ్చినా కూడా అది సరిపోదు. ఎంత చెప్పినా కూడా నో వర్డ్స్ అంటారు కదా, అంతేనా?
It's possible only because of your blessings, Mataji.
మా బ్లెస్సింగ్స్ ఎప్పుడు ఉంటాయి నాన్న. నీకు ముందు నుంచి కూడా చాలా మేము అంటే మాకు చాలా చాలా ఇష్టం మా అందరికి కూడా. సో మంచి ఇట్లాగే క్లాసులు తీసుకున్నాను. ఓకే బాబా. హరి బోల్.
హరే కృష్ణ.
హరే కృష్ణ అనంత ప్రభు.
హరే కృష్ణ మాతాజీ.
చాలా బాగా చెప్పారు ప్రభుజీ. ఆల్ మాతాజీస్ హావ్ గ్లోరిఫైడ్ యు అండ్ ఐ అగ్రీ. ఇట్స్ యూత్ ని ఇలా చెప్పడం చూస్తే చాలా సంతోషం అనిపిస్తుంది ప్రభుజీ. మన దేశానికి మీలాంటి యూత్ ఎంతైనా అవసరం ప్రభుజీ. కంటిన్యూ యువర్ సేవ అండ్ రీచింగ్ ప్రభుజీ. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. హరే కృష్ణ.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Anantha.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Wonderful class. You
Thank
have
you,
become a Bhagavatam expert. So we will come to you with all our questions. You are doing a PhD in Bhagavatam. One day you should get your PhD from Bhagavatam to do some.
Prabhuji, it will be possible only because of you, Prabhuji. Your blessings.
Hare Krishna. I don't know.
Prabhuji, you have to teach me then, Prabhuji. If I need to get the PhD, you have to teach me.
Yes, definitely. You should do. Evaru ayana Radhikaraman Prabhu, our brother, they got PhD from Oxford on Bhagavatam. Yesterday I was hearing lecture from Radhikaraman Prabhu. He was giving a series of lectures, 3 days. How to speak for Krishna. That is the topic. కృష్ణ గురించి ఎలా మాట్లాడాలి అనే దాని మీద ఆయన 3 రోజులు మాట్లాడారు. అమేజింగ్. అందరం కూడా ఎట్లా క్లాసెస్ ఇవ్వడానికి మనం రెడీ అవుతున్నాం కాబట్టి ఆ లెక్చర్స్ వింటే మనకు తెలుస్తుంది అంటే కృష్ణుని ఏ విధంగా మనం ప్లీజ్ చేయొచ్చు. ఎస్, ఆ విధంగా ఐ వాంట్ యూ టు బి లైక్ దట్. ఏదో ఒక రోజు ఐ వాంట్ హియర్ దట్ Anantha got a PhD from PhD on Bhagavatam. Yes, I think now you have got to completely thoroughly studied 10th canto, right?
Yes, Prabhu, 10th canto and Krishna book.
Amazing. I couldn't do that, but you did it great at the age of 14, huh? Great. Okay, you are the inspiration for many.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's only the audience because so the audience is the inspiration for me.
Of course, yes. మన కాంగ్రిగేషన్ లో ఉన్న కిడ్స్ అందరికి కూడా ఇన్స్పిరేషన్. ఎస్ రావు. ఇంకా
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ. హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ. దండోత్ ప్రణామ్. Hare Krishna Anantha Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
God bless you, Nana. It was a wonderful session. You covered so many topics and a lot of information is given. And చాలా హార్డ్ వర్క్ చేసావు. అవన్నీ ప్రిపేర్ చేయడంలో మళ్ళీ PPT was very wonderful. You did a lot of hard work. God bless you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
God bless you. We need to hear some more sessions from you.
Yes,
okay? Hare Krishna. God bless.
Hare Krishna.
హరే కృష్ణ అనంత్. హరే కృష్ణ
మాతాజీ.
దండోత్ ప్రణామ్ ప్రభుజీ. చాలా బాగా చెప్పావమ్మా నువ్వు. యాజ్ యూజువల్లీ ఎప్పుడు చెప్పినట్టే చెప్పావు. గాడ్ బ్లెస్ యూ అనంత్.
థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ.
హరే కృష్ణ అనంత్ ప్రభు.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
వెరీ గుడ్ జాబ్, వెల్ డన్. ఎక్సలెంట్. చాలా స్టోరీస్ కవర్ చేసావు. సో నా యాక్చువల్గా కొన్ని కపుల్ ఆఫ్ సజెషన్స్ ఉన్నాయి నావి. యాక్చువల్గా చాలా స్టోరీస్ ఉన్నాయి. దాన్ని మేబీ ఒక 2 క్లాసుల్లో స్ప్లిట్ చేసి ఉంటే బాగుండేదేమో. సో దట్ ఇట్ విల్ బి మోర్ ఈజీ టు డైజెస్ట్. సో అదొకటి. అంటే ఎందుకంటే యూ కవర్డ్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఎన్ని, మేబీ ఒక 10 slides 20 slides
30 slides ప్రభు.
30 slides. So you covered a lot. ఇంకో సజెషన్ ఏంటంటే ఈ భాగవతం అంటే ఈ రిఫరెన్సెస్ ఏమన్నా ఉన్నాయా, ఏ శ్లోకాలు, ఏ చాప్టర్స్, ఏ స్కందాల నుంచి రిఫరెన్సెస్ ఏమన్నా ఉంటే పీపుల్ దే వాంట్ అంటే ఒక పర్టికులర్ స్టోరీ నచ్చింది, దే వాంట్ టు రీడ్ ఇట్ బ్యాక్ ఒకసారి, మళ్ళా ఏంటి భాగవతంలో ఈ స్టోరీ ఎక్కడ ఉంది, సాంబుడు స్టోరీ ఎక్కడ ఉంది, తర్వాత జాంబవాన్ స్టోరీ ఎక్కడ ఉంది, అట్లాంటి ఇవన్నీ భాగవతం నుంచి తీసుకున్న రిఫరెన్స్ అనా లేదంటే వేరే బుక్స్ కూడా ఏమైనా రిఫరెన్స్?
No, bro. It's from different books. Like some are from Hanuman Chalisa, some are from Ramayana, like other books.
ఓకే ఓకే, అట్లా రిఫరెన్స్ ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు పెట్టిన స్లైడ్స్ లో ఇగో ఇది దిస్ ఈస్ టేకెన్ ఫ్రమ్ ఈ పర్టికులర్ టెక్స్ట్ నుంచి వచ్చింది అనేసి అట్లా ఏమైనా రిఫరెన్సెస్ ఉంటే, సో దట్ ఇఫ్ ఒకవేళ ఎవరైనా మళ్ళా దే వాంట్ టు రివైండ్, ఓకే ఇది ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ చూసుకుందాం అనుకుంటే అది బాగుంటుంది. జస్ట్ ఇఫ్ యూ కుడ్ పుట్ దట్ రిఫరెన్స్, ఇది పర్టికులర్ స్టోరీని అది ఎట్లా. ప్లస్ ఇంకోటి నరకాసుర అంటే నరకాసురుని మీద ఏంటంటే నరకాసురుడు భూదేవి కొడుకు అనేసి విన్నాను. సో భూదేవికి
yes, yeah, I made a mistake there. It's Bhumi Devi, not Ganga.
గంగా కాదు, భూమిదేవి.
Yes.
సో భూమి అంశతోటి సత్యభామ భూదేవి అంశతో పుడుతుంది. యా, సో బట్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ వర్క్, హార్డ్ వర్క్ చేసా, వెరీ గుడ్, ఎక్సలెంట్. బట్ ఇది ఒకటి, ఈ 2 పాయింట్స్ చూడు. బట్ ఇఫ్ యూ కుడ్ కంటిన్యూ ఈ స్టోరీస్ ని మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి కంటిన్యూ చేయగలిగితే వాళ్ళందరికి మంచి రివైండ్ అవుతుంది. ప్లస్ ఆ రిఫరెన్సెస్ కూడా ఒకసారి చూసుకొని వీ కెన్ రీడ్ త్రూ దట్ యూనో ఇన్ భాగవతం నుంచి, తర్వాత ఎక్కడి నుంచైనా అవి చూసుకోవడానికి కూడా చాలా బాగుంటుంది.
Prabhuji, actually in the first suggestion you gave, actually I wanted to make this 2 sessions. It was supposed to be both of them before Janmashtami, like a quick revision of Krishna's entire life. So somehow the second session was not possible, and then I had my exams in middle, so that's why it was very delayed. That's actually the purpose of this session.
అచ్చా, ఓకే ఓకే. యా, ఎందుకంటే అది ఇప్పుడు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవడం కష్టం అవుతుంది. సో మెనీ, ఎందుకంటే నువ్వు కవర్ చేసినవి చాలా వాస్ట్ కవర్ చేస్తావు. సో ఒక్కసారి మళ్ళా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలంటే కష్టం అయిపోతుంది. సో
yes, bro. I'll take those suggestions. Yes, thank you.
Good job, Ananth.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, Krishna, ఇంకా
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ, దండవత్ ప్రణామ్. హరే కృష్ణ అనంత ప్రభు.
హరే కృష్ణ మాతాజీ.
ఎక్సలెంట్ అనేదో ఇంకా మార్వెలస్ అనేదో వర్డ్స్ ఆర్ నాట్ ఇనఫ్. మీ సెషన్ ఆల్వేస్ ఇట్ ఈస్ వండర్ఫుల్ రియల్లీ, అండ్ ఇట్ షోస్ యువర్ ఎఫర్ట్, హౌ లాంగ్ యూ టుక్ టు ప్రిపేర్ ఆల్ దిస్ అనేది కూడా అర్థమవుతుంది. బీయింగ్ ఎ స్టూడెంట్ ఇంత కష్టపడ్డానన్నా ఇట్స్ రియల్లీ గ్రేట్. అసలు actually same stories, all these 20 things, stories actually, not stories, ఏమనాలి లీలలు, కృష్ణవి, మధుర, అట్లా డిఫరెంట్ ప్లేసెస్, బృందావనేతర లీలలు. నేను ఈ మా మధ్యాహ్నం క్లాస్ లో మాట్లాడాను. ఇట్ వాజ్ ఓన్లీ టైమ్ గివెన్ వాజ్ ఓన్లీ 20 minutes for me.
Yes, ma'am.
It was, you can understand, but you covered total episodes, everything, you detailed in detail. Wonderful, really. It shows your hard work and sincerity and belief in God. Really wonderful. Keep it up.
Thank you very much.
Are always there with you, and it shows you how your parents are taking care of you also. They are really lucky and blessed to have you as a child. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
How many chapters are there in the 10th canto?
Well, actually, I didn't take reference from the 10th canto. I took it from the Krishna book.
Oh, okay.
Because like taking from slokas, it's a little tough, right, Prabhu? So,
yeah, I know.
So I cut it into half, Prabhu. 45
okay.
chapters.
90 chapters. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Anybody is there?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Ananth Prabhu. చాలా బాగా
Hare Krishna Mataji.
చాలా బాగా చెప్పారు. నాకు ఒక డౌట్ ప్రభుజీ, మీరు నరకాసురు గంగా సన్ అని చెప్పారు, యాక్చువల్ గా భూదేవి కొడుకు కదా?
Yes, Mataji. Actually, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Bhumi Devi's
Yes,
son.
yes. Very nice, Prabhuji. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank
Good.
you.
Everybody's attentively hearing. Very.
Nice, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Maybe
Good,
it's
good.
intentional that I made it so that I can check if everyone's listening on.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna Ananth Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Ananth, actually I am not surprised by this session. నాకు తెలుసు టాలెంటెడ్ అని. మన ఈ కాల్లో ఉన్న ప్రభుజులు మాతాజులకి తెలవాల్సింది ఏంటంటే అనంత్ అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ ది సెషన్స్ ఈ డస్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ అదర్ వర్క్ ఫర్ అదర్స్ అనమాట. వాళ్ళ మదర్ కానీ ప్రభుజీ కానీ హెల్ప్స్ అలాట్ అనమాట. అండ్ అనంత్ ఐ నో ఓకే అది పెద్ద మిస్టేకే కాదు, మాకు తెలుసు అది. బట్ నువ్వు మమ్మల్ని చెక్ చేస్తున్నావు కాబట్టి ఇంకా అటెంటివ్ గంట నుంచి చాలా బాగా చెప్పాము సెషన్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Okay. Shall we end it here? 9 o'clock. Wow, almost you took 1.5 hours.
Today's session is a little elongated, bro. There were a lot of stories in this compared to last.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Anantha, once again, congratulations, and may Krishna bless you to continue in Krishna consciousness, in understanding, and in giving out Krishna to others, because you entered into teenage. It's very tough maintaining Krishna consciousness in teenage, but somehow if you manage to be in Krishna consciousness till your teens, then you are saved. So many distractions will come, so many things. Try to give some time to Krishna. I know you are busy. There's so much to study, college, play, so many things are there, but still try to allocate some time to Krishna, and then keep giving classes in the middle so that you will read. Otherwise, you won't read. If there is something to give, then you will read, right? So that's keep it an option. I have to give class. So since last 1 month, I have not given any class. అని చెప్పి అలాగా నువ్వు పెట్టుకుంటే నువ్వు క్లాస్ ఇవ్వగలవు. సో కృష్ణ క్లాస్లో ఉండగలవు. That is a key. I have to speak. Then you will read. Then you will remember. Atla. Try to be in association at least weekly once. I know you get only 1 day weekly, so what I'm going to get? But that is a sacrifice you have to do, right? It's a little painful also at this age, but one day you will. ఎందుకంటే కృష్ణ కాన్షియస్లో ఉన్న యంగ్ జనరేషన్, whoever is excelling, if you look into their lives, they did that. Sutapa Prabhu, yesterday I was saying that, and he was a child born into Krishna consciousness, did the same thing. It doesn't mean that, okay, you don't have to, you should not do all those things and all, but one leg here, it's okay. Keeping one leg here and there also not a problem till some time. So keep that in your mind and continue, and you will be happy, and you will make others also happy and inspire many people, younger generation, elder generation, everybody. Okay, na? Thank you very much for some rest.
Thank you, bro.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Grandaraj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Ananth Prabhu ki jai.
Prabhuji, we want to say 3 times Hari Bol to Ananta. Everybody can unmute it.
Let's see. Hari Bol, everybody. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol to Ananta.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Ananth Prabhu ki jai.
Ananta Prabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Ending here.